This is how most people answer the call of God: in the dark. More specifically, this is how I answered the call of God: in the dark. The crazy thing about answering the call of God and getting opportunities is that everybody assumes that the light on the stage follows you home. But the truth of the matter is, the brighter the light on the stage, sometimes the darker it is behind the curtain. So a month after me and my wife got married, and we got married February the 18th, 2018. A month after we got married, my wife got very sick. And the doctors basically told me she could die in her sleep. And so I became a caregiver half of the first year of our marriage. And it was hard because I'd never been a husband before. I'd never been a caregiver before. But I did not know at that time that through caring for my wife, God was teaching me how a pastor cares for people. That the job of a pastor is to take care of the sick, so to speak, and preach to them and take care of them in such a way that the enemy does not take them out while they're sleeping. And it was a hard time, it was a rough time, but I learned how to have faith. I learned that God was a healer. And I learned that if you can't trust anybody else, you got to put your trust in God. After that, the Lord healed her. I don't know when she got sick, and I don't know when God healed her. And I want to pause here in this documentary and tell you that she got sick suddenly, but she got healed suddenly. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but just like things can suddenly go wrong and have suddenly gone wrong in your life, things are about to suddenly get better, because that's the type of God we serve. Anyway, my wife gets pregnant with my son, and she has a tumor. She actually has one fibroid tumor with my son, and two with my daughter. And both of our kids are supposed to be vegetables, they tell us, but God. And it was through that pregnancy that God was teaching us how to pastor, how to come together, how it looks for God to give you a dream, but at the same time on the inside of you, there's something threatening to kill it or to make it have defects as you're trying to birth it. But God was with us through it, and both of my kids are 100% healthy. My son is one of the smartest kids in his class, and God was teaching me how to pastor. I get fired. The Lord tells me I'm about to get fired from the job I worked at the time, and he tells me to start going full-time in music. So I go full-time in music, and the Lord was paying our bills. Nobody was buying the music, but the Lord was providing for us. And I didn't know at the time that God was teaching me how to pastor. That when I didn't have it, he would make a way, and all I'd have to do is take care of his house, his business, and he would take care of mine. But as I kept going on in music, times got rough, times got hard, and I had to go through another "Do you trust me" test. And so we ended up staying with my mother and my father. Me, my wife, and my two kids stayed in the living room along with my younger brother David. Shout out to you. We stayed in the living room during this time of living with my parents for 2 years. During that time, I was serving in the youth ministry at my church. And I was living with my parents because we had fell on hard times. And I was working my tail off, I'm telling you. I was doing everything possible. I was doing what God told me to do. And of course, when it's not successful, sometimes it doesn't look like you're doing the right thing. But I found out that success is not always the confirmation that you're doing the right thing. Sometimes the confirmation for the right thing is the things you didn't expect, the struggle. So during this time, I'm serving in the youth ministry at the church I'm at. And God is opening doors for me to be able to preach, teach, make curriculums and things of that nature, and all this good stuff is happening. And my anointing doesn't match my circumstance, but I did not know that God was teaching me how to pastor. And many people didn't know it. The light was shining on me and everybody knew who I was when I came into church. The light is shining on me, but I'm saying yes in the dark. So they don't see the tears. They don't see my wife crying on my shoulder. They don't see us not having the money. As a matter of fact, the gift that God gave me was so powerful that when I released this documentary and some of you see it, you probably won't even believe me because I didn't look like what I was going through. Catch this, while I was going through it. Because God will keep you. You can be going through the worst time of your life, but if you obey God, you won't even look like what you're going through, not what you've been through. You won't even look like what you're going through while you're going through it. So then we get, God blesses us. We get our own place. And by this time, the Lord has told me, put the music to the side. You're going to do it, but now I want you to start preaching full time. So I begin to preach full time. Didn't have a lot of engagements coming through. Still don't. But God is making a way. People begin to bless us with clothes and shoes and finance. And people thinking that we're rich don't even know that we're just trusting God. Sowing seeds, sowing our very last. But it was in the dark that God taught me how to pastor. It was in the dark that I said yes. And even though I was going through dark times, God was still the light. And so he took us, my family, through that dark time because he wanted us to have faith in him. Because we're getting ready to now build this church called Christians Life of Faith Church. And so me being the pastor of this church and my wife being the first lady of this church, we had to live out the name. We had to not give up on God. We had to preach while being broke. We had to get rides. We didn't have a car. God bless us with the car. The car broke down. Now we got to get a new car. Just all these things are happening, but God is showing us that he's faithful. And he was teaching us to pastor. He was teaching us to trust him. He was giving us our testimony. So we said yes to the dark. Well, we said yes in the dark. We said yes in the dark. And now the light is beginning to come through. We went through our time of darkness, and now we're going through our time where God is elevating us. And so he taught us how to love each other in the dark, how to be married in the dark. He taught me how to preach in the dark. I gained a spiritual father and spiritual mother in the dark. My spiritual father would drop me off, and he didn't even know that he was dropping me off to go live in the living room. And I was obeying the Lord. Didn't even know how to tell him. But it was all part of the story. That God is faithful. So now we're in our own place, our new place. Got a little bit more finance, a little bit more engagements, doing some great things. But trusting God has been worth it. So I just want to encourage you that whatever God told you to build, like I told you last episode, build it. Whatever God tells you to do, do it. Because it's worth it. And like I said last time, I trust in God.